Well, we are going to continue to explore different options that we have in Revit to create this kind of light facades. We have already explored this option of having like a double skin with louvers to protect the curtain wall against the sun. So in this other facade, we're going to do something different. We're going to explore a transparent double skin. And why are we doing this? Well, when we are working with double skins, this is it. Okay, so we have a transparent element here. We have the first curtain wall here, and then we have another light curtain wall here outside. So this is a double skin, and we have a buffer space. It's not a corridor, it's nothing. We can have like 3 feet from this first line to the second line. But that's interesting because depending on the weather outside, we can have different strategies. For example, in winter, here we have a winter, in a sunny winter day, and in a southern facade, we are talking about the south always. We don't have any sun in the north. So if we have this southern facade with this transparent double skin, we can warm up the air here. Okay, and then we can have this element that it's not as cold as the outdoors. Probably we don't have comfort temperature here, but we have this concept of a buffer space in which the temperature is not as bad as it is outside, okay? Because we are heating up that space. There's something even more interesting. So when the temperature is really good here, and when we have a lot of sun, and we have a lot of hours with sun heating on the southern facade, we can have this. If the sun heats up this and the temperature is a comfort temperature, we can open this first layer, and then we can let this air enter the indoor space. Okay, so if we have sensors, so if the temperature outside is not that cold and we have enough sun hours, probably the temperature inside this buffer space is even above comfort temperature, so we can let this warm air enter the building. Okay, so that's a good strategy for winter on a southern facade with double skin. In summer, we have to get rid of this. So in summer, we have warm air outside. We need cool air inside. So what we do is to protect the building from this sun. We have the buffer space and we can get rid of this. So again, the temperature here at this buffer space is not as hot as it is outside, but the key thing is that we have to get rid of that air. Okay, so if this air warms up too much, we have to get rid of it through openings in this second skin. And in spring and fall, when the outdoor temperature and relative humidity is at comfort conditions, we can just let this air enter the building through natural ventilation. Okay, so depending on what kind of weather we have outside, we can do this. We can heat up this. We can even let this air enter the building. In summer, we have to get rid of this hot air in this buffer space. And if the air is good enough, if the outdoor temperature is good enough, we can just let this outdoor air enter the building with natural ventilation. Okay, so we can do this with double skin facades. Then we need sensors, and probably we need some mechanical elements so that we can open and close automatically something here, either in the outside layer or in the inside layer. Anyway, that's how it works from the thermal point of view. But now we have to do this in Revit. Okay, so we have to create like double skin in Revit and make it feasible. And this is what we're going to do here. I have created a wall here. You see, this is a curtain wall. It's in the southern facade, so I'm working on this corner, and I have just created this curtain wall here, and now I'm going to create double skin facade between this wall. Well, I need another line, and I need this buffer space here, and this is what I'm going to do. Well, I have this line here. I'm going to do it again because I want to have like a reference. Okay, so this is the original curtain wall, but I want another line here. Imagine that we have like 3 feet. Okay, so if we want to do that, I need to go to architecture, model line. I can type 3 feet here. And now I want a reference line just from this point to that point, from this grid line to that grid line. I have this here, and we have 3 feet. It can be 2 feet, usually for maintenance, because we have to clean the glasses here. So yeah, 2 to 3 feet, it's something fine. And now I'm going to create like, because I can create a mass, like a flat mass element as we did here, but I want to do something curved, but I will do something different. So here we tried like a polygon, a closed polygon, and then we connected both to create a solid mass. Now I'm going to create a mass that it's not solid. It's just like a plane, but it's not flat. Okay, I'll do it and we'll see what I mean. I'm working now on level 0. So I'm going to create a curve on level 0 and another one on level 30. I select massing inside and in place mass. There you go. And well, before doing this, I want to open level 30, and I want to make sure, because on level 30, I don't see here the reference line. Okay. So I can either build another one or work with the view range. If I make the depth unlimited, okay, now I see here this line. Okay, so now I'm on level 0 and level 30. So on level 0, I'm going to select in place mass, and I want to create like a curve like this. So I'm going to use this start and radius. So this is the start. This snap, the middle point, is the end point of this curve. And now I'm going to select something like that. And I could do the same here, select the first point, the second point, and then do this. But I'm going to use this option, tangent, because it's good when we have a curve. It's good that we have this tangent. So just by selecting the end point, I make sure that this curve is, we have a tangent point here. It looks better. So we have done this on level 0. I want to do the same here on level 30. We are on level 30, so if we draw something, we should, yeah, it should be on level, but we can check, set the plane, and now we have level 30 here. And I'm going to create the inverse curve. So I want to select this start and do something like this. And now tangent, something like that. And if I go to the 3D view, yep, you see that we have the first curve here, the second curve there. And now I can select both, this one and this one. And I can create form, the solid form. Okay. So you see that we have a wall, it's curved, and you see that shape. Okay. Now, if we select the masses, this one and that one, make sure that you select the mass. Okay, you're not selecting lines, you're selecting the mass itself. We can divide the surface. That's interesting because I can divide this following these shapes, and then I can adapt a family, a parametric family, to the shapes that I have created here. Okay, let's do this. Divide surface, and here you see that we have no pattern. In Revit, we have a lot of patterns. We have hexagons, we have rhomboids, whatever triangles. Okay, so there are different things. Let's stick to something simple. So let's stick to the rectangles. Okay. And this is what we have done now. We can change the divisions. Here you see that we have fixed number. We can use fixed distance. If I change this number to 5, okay, you see that I have changed the horizontal grid, and I want to change the vertical. So let's select 2. There you go. Okay, what now? I'm not finishing math yet. Now I have to create a family that adapts this shape. Can I do that with the storefront? Probably I could do it. I don't know, we will try later. But I want to show you how to create your own curtain wall. Okay, so we have this default curtain wall with mullions and glass. So let's try to create our own family of curtain walls. To do that, we have to go to File. We have to open a new, but it's not a project, it's not a mass, it's a family. Okay, so let's open a new family. And here, if we are on English Imperial, we have this curtain panel pattern based. Curtain panel pattern based. Okay, it's a curtain wall, curtain panel, and it is based on a pattern. And we have selected the rectangular pattern, and we're going to do a rectangular element. If we wanted to create a triangular one, then we will have to use a triangular pattern. So let's do something simple with a rectangle, but let's open this curtain panel pattern based. Open. And we have this. Okay, so that's the, yeah, this is what a Revit family looks like when there's nothing on it. You see that we can select these adaptive points. We can select these lines. Okay, so that means that everything is connected here. If we move a point, you see that the lines are moving with that point. And that's good because we are going to adapt this to a pattern that it's not flat. Remember that we have created a mass that it's not flat. So those points can be adapted to the corners of our pattern, and then the lines change accordingly. Okay, what we are going to do is to create a very simple curtain wall. It's made of frames, let's say aluminum frames, and then we're going to create a glass in the middle. Basically, it's the same thing we have by default in our storefront family, but I'll show you how to do it. And if you know how to do it, then you can modify it. Okay, imagine that we want to create a frame first. So what we have to do, I want to work in a plane perpendicular to this. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is to set the work plane, and we have to select the vertical one. Okay, so you see that we can select a horizontal, or we can select a vertical in this direction, or a vertical in the other direction. So I'm going to select this one, this vertical plane, that direction. And then if I select a rectangle, we see that if we create a rectangle, we are working on this plane, the one that we have selected. Okay, so I can create a rectangle, and now I can change dimensions. If I select this line, I can change this. So let's make it 2 inches. And this one, let's make it 4 inches. Okay, so this is like frame 2 by 4 inches. Yeah, looks good. And now I have to create a shape all around this rectangle. So first you have to select this. Second, press Control and make sure that you select all these lines here. And now we can create a solid form. You see, we have created this solid form. And now we can select different things. If I do this, I am selecting the surface. If you press Tab, now we are selecting the element. And we can change the material. The problem is that by default here, we don't have a lot of materials. Well, we can load materials from a library. Let's create a new one and let's call it aluminum. Description, frame. And we can change the graphics, the appearance. We can even change the physical and thermal properties. We're not going to do that. So let's create aluminum. And now we should create glass. So to create glass, you can select, because the glass is covering this, you can select all these lines. And we can create a form just like this, a solid form. And just select, don't select an actual solid, select plane like this. Okay. And now make sure that you select the panel, you change the material, and by default here we have glass. Okay, so we can do this. And now you see that we have the frame, the aluminum frame, and we have transparent glass panel. What's next? We can load it into the project. This is very simple. It's a, I know, I don't think we can do something easier than this, but let's load into the project. And on this 3D view, if we select this and select that, if you go to this rectangle pattern, you click here, you see that we have family 1 and family 2. Well, the family 1 is something that I did before that, but what we have created now is family 2. So let's click on family 2. In your file, there will be only family 1 because I have created twice. And now you see that we have a curtain wall following this pattern. Okay, so we have created a curtain wall with this curved element. Now we can finish mask. And there you go. Okay, so you see that we have a flat curtain wall here, and then we have a curved curtain wall there, created with these elements. But now we have a frame and we have glass. So this is, yeah, you see that there's a difference between this and this. So there's some transparent element here. And we have glass, and we do have this element, this buffer space here. Then we have to close it. Yeah, so if we want to analyze this from the thermal point of view, we should do something different. And well, what I would do here is to attach, we can get rid of this line first. What we can do here is to attach this to this, okay? Because now this is floating. How can we do that? We can, for example, if we go to architecture component, modeling place, we select structural framing. Okay, we select extrusion and we set the plane. I want to pick a plane because I want to pick this one, this plane here. Okay, now we can draw a rectangle. And since we are working with extrusion, we can move it here and finish the model. Okay, so we can do this at different places, and now we have something attaching this element or these two facades. Okay. Yeah, so we can create those elements here at every corner. We can create this. Can I copy this one? Copy. Yes, I can. Okay, kind of. So this is it. We should create elements like this, connecting the structural element to this element that is hanging. So that's why we call it a curtain wall, because it's hanging from something solid, from something structural.